Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Wednesday, March 22nd.
We've been off on number of homes sold for over a year.
That's Toby Tobin, editor of GoToby.com and host of Real Estate Matters on WNZF, reacting to a report from the Palm Coast Flagler Regional Chamber of Commerce that shows that March was the slowest month in the past 2.5 years for the Flagler real estate market. But Tobin says median house prices are still healthy and well above pre-COVID levels. He doesn't expect that to change anytime soon.
We're not going to see a dramatic drop in prices because we're not going to see a huge increase in foreclosures. There's just too much equity in the market. 15 years ago, everybody was buying houses for 100% mortgage. And now they're buying a lot of homes for cash or significant down payments. The speculators are not in today's market like they were 15 years ago.
Tobin adds it's not easy to get a mortgage either.
The fundamental things that caused the last crash are not present in today's market.
Real Estate Matters can be heard every Saturday morning at 11 on WNZF. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. A Palm Coast man is arrested after an hours-long standoff with the Flagler County Sheriff's Office's SWAT team.
Recently, Flagler County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to Ricker Place in Palm Coast in reference to an armed domestic disturbance. The person who called police explained that 56-year-old Luis Ramirez was intoxicated and had fired one round from a pistol within the home. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
After an almost 7-hour standoff, deputies were able to successfully apprehend the suspect that was wanted on felony charges following an armed domestic violence situation. Our SWAT team ultimately did a phenomenal job in deploying gas, trying to get him out. When he still refused to come out, our drone unit was able to spot him inside the residence so that our deputies could go in safely and apprehend him. This is why we do the training and we have the equipment that we have for at times like this you need it to protect the deputies and to ensure that suspects can be apprehended without injury to anyone. Hopefully he will get the help that he needs and become a productive member of our community.
Ramirez was transported to Advent Health Palm Coast for medical clearance and then taken to the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility where he's being held on $25,000 bond. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
The Florida legislature takes action to address storm recovery with a focus on resilience.
7th District Senator Travis Hudson says the legislature created new committees with the goal of reducing the hurdles to post-hurricane recovery.
We, for the first time that I'm aware of, launched a resiliency committee to look at long-term effects of what happens with hurricane damages for our coastline and the ever so changing climate that we have. We are doing the exact same thing Palm Coast is doing, is trying to get ahead of the problem and not be behind it, which when we get behind it, that means we're having to spend millions of dollars doing damage repair. So how do we make sure that our beaches are resilient? How do we make sure that our areas and cities and counties are resilient? And that's what we're looking at right now.
Hudson says the committees held their first meetings earlier this month and have already drafted proposed legislation to address not only resiliency and sustainability, but also preparations for the next big storm. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
What exactly does the Elks Lodge do?
Bob Williams, the exalted ruler of Palm Coast Elks Lodge, said they do a lot. He said that the Elks throughout the state focus heavily on children's therapies. He said those children's therapies are top-notch, and here's why.
We have 30 therapists throughout the state of Florida that serve 600 families a week, and they go from infant to 18 years old. I would suggest anybody that's interested in that, contact us at the lodge. We will come out and help you.
Williams said locally, the Elks Lodge is very involved in the community. Listen to Lifeline on WNZF Saturday mornings at 9 and on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, the Elks support 2 local community programs. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.